Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Big Chap Ultimate Edition Alien action figure from NECA and Real Toys, it says in the box there. And this is a fantastic xenomorph, absolutely phenomenal, captures the movie likeness, so spot on. But before we talk about that, we will take a look at the packaging it comes in. Because one of my favorite things about these NECA figures is the aesthetic of their packaging, just fantastic. So let's take a look. Alright guys, so here we have the packaging. You can see this egg leaking here and all the different smoke and stuff, like the original, I don't know if it was the original movie poster or cover, but it looks really cool, man. It's definitely a recognizable image from the film. I'm not sure if it's the original cover or not, because it's kind of out of my time. But you can see here, Alien, Big Chap, Ultimate Edition, fantastic. On the top here you can see Alien again, the broken egg on the sides. See all the different eggs and Alien, and Big Chap Ultimate Edition on the top there again. On the back you get all kinds of images of the figures. I love that they provide because they're just really well done all together, man. See the Alien little thing coming out of his mouth. See the face hugger, and then that little chest burster. At least that's what it says here on the bottom. It says includes egg, chest burster, and face hugger. And on the bottom here it gives you a nice description. In space, no one can hear you scream. In a remote region of the galaxy, the United States space tug Nostromo, carrying a cargo of mineral ore, makes its return journey to Earth. I hope I said tug Nostromo right. The ship's crew, 5 men, 2 women, and a cat, are awakened from their hypersleep chambers when Mother, the onboard computer, monitors a strange transmission. According to company law, the crew must investigate any signal indicating possible intelligent life. What begins as a routine search mission quickly escalates into a nightmare of unimaginable terror when the crew discovers and brings aboard an extraterrestrial life form. Really cool. I absolutely love that description of the movie, and like I said, the photos are just awesome, man. On the very top here you can see Alien again. On the side you can see the same exact thing as the other side. Now, one of my favorite things about these boxes, too, is on the bottom, it gives credit to who worked on it and who sculpted it here. So I'll get my camera to adjust here. And you can see the director was Randy Falk. The sculpt was done by Kyle Windrix, who, you know, the sculpts, these NECA figures are fantastic. And I looked up this guy because his name is all on so many different figures. And I saw that he had passed away not long ago, man, and I just want to say rest in peace. This guy was incredibly talented, did some phenomenal work, man. Some of my favorite NECA figures were sculpted by this guy, so he was absolutely fantastic. The paint was done by John Wardell and Joffrey Chap, I hope I'm saying that right. Prototypes, True Cast, Photography, Steven Mazurek, I hope I'm saying that. Packaging, Chris Ramo, I don't know, set design, Stefan Fulkins. So I probably butchered some of those names and absolutely ruined them. I'm very sorry, but these guys did some phenomenal work with this figure. On the bottom you can see NECA and Real Toys there, and a little barcode if you want. And I should mention too, you can open this guy up and you can see inside here. I'm pretty sure I have this upside down, but another cool image of the figure on the inside of the box there. I'll get that to focus for you guys. Sorry you can kind of see outside my little diorama here, but very, very nice looking stuff here. Absolutely fantastic. Another thing I really like about this packaging too is it gives me the aesthetic of like an old VHS box or something. I don't know. Obviously it's a little bit big, but it really gives me that vibe. So very nice packaging. Absolutely love it. Let's take a look. Okay, so first off, it comes with this nasty little tentacle kind of shit. These little roots coming off here, and very nice like sculpting and paint here. I like that tone of color. Well, it looks like it's kind of scraped there, but I mean, I imagine it'd be a little bit dirty on the inside, but it looks like it got some kind of paint smudge in there. Otherwise, all the paint around it, all the glossiness that kind of makes it look slimy is really well done. Beautiful sculpt. What you do here, so this is the platform. You take this egg-type cocoon that the face hugger's chilling in the film, and you can see these little rivets here right on the bottom match up with this little base here, the ring going around, and you can kind of you can see, okay, here you go. So you can see the little triangle coming off here, and on the bottom there's a little indent in that little rivet. You can kind of line that up and get that in there. It doesn't like really stay in, like connect, but it just kind of chills in there, you know. It's alright, it fits in there pretty well. And like I said, the whole thing is really well detailed, man. The inside you can see all these little veins just like painted so well, sculpted so well. On the inside here, they're not really sculpted, but like I said, it's a very nice tone. I really like the coloring and everything. The sculpt is just phenomenal. Very, very nice work. It's like kind of a soft plastic material, but it's still pretty hard. I think the inside is like a harder plastic. I could be wrong about that though. I know this part definitely a bit harder, but most of it's like soft plastic aside from the base here. That's like a harder plastic. Let me line this up here for you guys. So you can see that's very nicely done. I love that. And then the second part of this, you get this little face hugger here, which if you see in the movie Alien, and I highly recommend you watch it, Ridley Scott is one of my favorite directors. Absolutely iconic. He directed Alien and Blade Runner. Phenomenal dude. Brilliant. Real visionary. But this face hugger, if you've seen it, pops out of these eggs, if I remember right, hooks onto your face, which, man, it's so, like, uncomforting to watch it happen, dude. It's like, just imagine this thing latching to your face and planting something in your body. That shit's terrifying. Even to today, so many years later, that shit's creepy. But this thing will latch to your face, plant a little egg, or an egg or something. I don't know exactly how to explain it. And this thing pops out of your chest, but we'll look at that after. So this guy latches to your face. He's all acidic and shit. If you kill him, his blood is like acid, and it seeps into the floors and shit and burns holes and stuff, I remember right. And they really did a nice job with this dude. God, it's so creepy looking. The sculpt is just phenomenal. The paint is so nice. That scaly back and then the inside, all that nasty pink and greenish teal kind of color. I don't know if teal's the right word. I don't know my colors, man. But I know enough to know that it's freaking crusty and nasty. It looks so good. That's perfect. That's exactly how it should look. These little nasty spider-like legs that are all bony and gross, almost like long skeleton-like fingers. Just looks so good, dude. And what I love about this too is you can kind of lean him up just right. It almost looks like he's leaping out of there. You can kind of have him leaned up just right, and it's kind of peeking out. Would have been nice if there was a better way to do it, but you can see here it kind of looks like he's jumping out of there. So that is very creepy. It's exactly how it should be. I love it. And then the last accessory is alright. I mean, it's one that's necessary, but it's kind of weak in my opinion, just because it really can't, like... Oh, it can kind of stand, actually. Not bad. It's a little bit wobbly, though. It has a tendency to kind of fall over. If you just shake your shelf a little bit, it'll just kind of fall. But, I mean, it's well done, man. It looks like it did in the movie. It's almost, like, fleshy and pink with blood. It almost looks like it was just born, man. Because... what it is, like I said, it's planted in a dude's body after he has the face hugger on him, and it pops out of his chest, his stomach kind of area, and it becomes the xenomorph, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive that's exactly what happens. This thing is just a little baby. You can see here, you can see his little mouth. Look at that sculpting, man. That's just, let me focus that shit for you. That is so cool, dude. I absolutely love that. The work they did with that sculpt, oh, just phenomenal work, man. I love that little face there. And you can see its little body here, all little details that... I love how the red and the pink kind of differs. It's not just one flat color. You can see like a very dark red there that looks like fresh blood, and like a lighter pink that looks like blood's just kind of smeared on him and getting lighter. You know, it looks really nice on top of the head too. You can see that like xenomorph kind of head there. Looks very, very nice. And it also has the scaly back, kind of like that face hugger. Very, very nicely done. Very nice paint. And two little holes right here. I'm not sure what their purpose is. Oh, shit. There's a bendy wire in him. I didn't notice that before. I just noticed that now. I saw the holes and I'm like, this kind of reminds me of a bendy wire. Well, now I know what they're there for. Which, I mean, I don't know why you'd really want to do that. Unless you were doing some toy photography and you had a real good reason for it. But that might kind of help you get him to stay up and stand, I suppose. If you... let's see here, I was just messing with him, seeing if I could get him to stay up and stand, but he's so wobbly, man. It's tough to get him to stay. I guess if I move him like that, then it looks like he's going to stay. So, yeah, he can stand up pretty well. And now that I know that, my opinion has kind of changed, to be honest. He's not as bad. He's a pretty cool accessory, and like I said, great sculpt work, really cool paint. I dig it. Okay, so here we have the xenomorph, and I just want to mention I have the xenomorph on this stand here, the alien, and it's a NECA stand, one of those little 10-pack stands that you can buy back at a Target by the collectible stuff, and they work really well for your NECA figures, so I recommend you buy them. But we'll take it off of its stand here, and I'll show you how it stands without it. Really, it kind of relies on its tail, in my opinion, a bit much, where if you kind of have that tail going up in some wonky, weird poses, I don't know if it'll stand up too well because it's pretty heavy in the back. But this tail really makes a world of difference. It helps it stand up, and if you have a stand too, it doesn't really matter. But what's really important about this figure is not really how it stands, but the posability of it and the paint work. And as you can see, the paint work is just, oh my god, dude, it's fantastic. NECA always delivers on their paints and their sculpts. Always consistent. Fantastic, man. You can see I really like this here. This is a soft plastic piece here all throughout the pelvis of this creature. And I really like that soft plastic, all the different sculpting going down here. Also like tubes or something, man. The rib cages, just, I like that lighter paint and then the darker on the core body there. You can see like under those ribs, you can see like a darker paint and then a lighter going throughout. And man, that just adds a whole world of definition and detail. Looks fantastic. And like I said, going all the way down, you can see all these little rivets here, all painted very nicely with a lighter, almost like a brownish color, and the black going throughout. But I really like that soft plastic. It kind of reminds me how McFarlane does the soft plastic pelvises, and it kind of hides the articulation a bit better. It doesn't hide it too much with this figure, but I do think it's nice in terms of posability, so that piece doesn't get in the way too much. You can see there, it bends in, and that really helps when you're posing the figure. But I don't know why you'd have this figure running for any reason unless you're gonna have it look like it got blown back or something. So that's really cool. And you can see more little rivets here, little pointy elbows. I really like that soft plastic piece, so it's not gonna break. And on the back here, you can see these massive like tentacle, like tendril type things sticking out of its back. And those are sculpted really well, nice glossy paint. On the end of them, they almost get like to be like a brighter white, very nice. And on the insides, you can see more of those little rivets that are painted like a brownish color. All throughout, just wonderful paint. The feet are done really nicely too. You can see the toenails there, like a nice metallic looking silver, and just very nicely sculpted feet, painted feet. And I really love this tail too, man. I love how bony and nasty it looks, and that lighter brown going all throughout, and all like, you can just see the spine going down here. Very, very nice work, man. Very nice implementation of having the spine look consistent all throughout. You can see it on the top of this tendril here too, the spine. And you still have an articulated waist, although it's very consistent. So that's a very nice touch. And this tail is articulated too, as I said before. It has bendy wire in it, so you can pose it in all kinds of different poses and get it. It really helps this figure stand. That's a very nice touch. And it's just long as hell, man. It looks very movie accurate. Just incredible. And one of the most important things about this figure, obviously, is the face. It's iconic, man. So if you don't get that right, this figure is going to be a huge miss. You can see here the face is just so well done. I love the silver mouth here, the translucent head. You can see the inside of its head, just very cool. I love all these little like tubes or veins going to its face or whatever. Just really cool, dude. I'm not sure what they are. Comment below if you're really into the lore of the alien universe or whatever, and tell me what they are if you know more about the xenomorphs than I do. But just looks really cool, dude. Altogether, the sculpt work is just fantastic. The fingers too are very nice. I love those because they have that silver paint to it. Silver paint's a nice touch. Another important feature that's really cool is you can open up the mouth and you have that little baby alien. And honestly, when I first got it, I could just kind of get this thing to fall out, and if you fidget with it enough, it will just kind of pop out. It's like a really light brown. Maybe it could have been a little bit darker, but I don't remember if it was like a light brown in the movie. But it opens up and feeds, so you can see that little thing there. That's a nice little touch. You can see that. Very cool. So you can slide that back in there, shut its mouth, her mouth, his mouth. I'm not sure. I think it's a she, but I could be wrong. Either way, this is a really cool figure. I love the shoulder blades coming up. Just very nice sculpt work altogether. So now we're going to take a look at this figure. Let's take a look at the articulation. And for being such a nicely detailed, painted, sculpted figure, I cannot believe the amount of articulation it has. It's actually incredibly articulated. So the head goes back just a little bit, goes down a little bit, has a bit of a pivot here, which is just lovely, man. That's very creepy and menacing looking. I love that. Can rotate, but you don't want to break these, so I'd be cautious when you're rotating it because they are glued to the back here, these little wire type tendril type things. The hinge, there is a hinge here at the mouth, and obviously the little baby dude can slide out and you can shut it and shut him in there. Very nice. Then the shoulders go up, pretty freaking far, man. Very nice. And you can go forward and back. There is no swivel otherwise, but there is a swivel here down at the elbow and a hinge as well. Very interesting piece of articulation there. I really like that. There is a hinge at the hand as well. And as I said before, the tail is articulated. It does have bendy wire, but there is like no rotation. Oh, I lied. There is a rotation. Very nice. Very, very nice. There's a swivel here. Very nice work. As I said, hinge at the wrist. I love that. Rotation, swivel, and then legs go out about that pretty freaking far, man. That's very far. They can go forward, back, very far. And I love this soft plastic because it makes sure that the articulation of these legs is not hindered at all. That's very, very nice. Gets to focus a little bit better. And then there is a bit of a rotation here at the thigh. There is no rotation at the knee or anything like the articulation at the elbow up here. However, it does have a beautifully double jointed knee. Very, very nice work there. And I don't think there's a rotation of any sort. No. There is a hinge here at the foot, at the ankle, and there is an ankle pivot that's a little bit tricky to work with, but it's there. There is a rotation, and then there is a hinge at the toes. And I don't think I missed anything there. I pretty much got all the articulation. This bad boy is pretty freaking articulated. Alright guys, so that is my review of the NECA Ultimate Edition Big Chap Alien figure. The Xenomorph from the original Ridley Scott film from the 70s, I believe. A fantastic figure. I absolutely recommend you pick this guy up if you see him. He's like 50 bucks on eBay last time I checked, anywhere from $30 to $50. Which, I mean, for some people is pretty pricey, including the shipping and everything. So if you guys see this on retail for like 30 bucks, I'd definitely pick him up. He's a beautiful figure. He's a nice piece of movie history, I guess. You know, to be able to look on your shelf and go, oh my god, there's Alien from the first Alien movie. Very cool if you're a fan of Alien and cinema in general. Ridley Scott, cool director. Great, brilliant mind. So I definitely recommend you pick this up, not only because Ridley Scott's brilliant, but because it's just a beautiful piece of art, man. It's beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted, and NECA really hits it out of the park. So I definitely recommend you pick this guy up, and I also recommend you like this video if you appreciate the review, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts on this guy, the movie. Which movie do you like better, Alien or Aliens? Let me know your favorite Alien flick. And please stay tuned for more. I'm going to have more NECA reviews coming, more Ghostbusters, Marvel Legends, Star Wars, whatever you guys want to see. So stay tuned for more. Follow my Instagram at TheWiseCollector. And most importantly, keep collecting. Thanks, guys. Peace.